So 6 months into the coronavirus, the pandemic, what are some of the myths that you're hearing out there that we want to kind of today debunk? As far as the myths that, because I have several that I've heard. So what are you hearing? So what can we kind of debunk today?
Yeah, one of the big ones, and I've seen a lot of it too in interacting with businesses, is people will wear gloves all the time out in public. And it's one of those things where if you think about how coronavirus spreads, it's a respiratory pathogen that goes through droplets in the air. So there is the possibility that will rest on surfaces, but the gloves in and of themselves will not protect you from getting the coronavirus. If anything, they'll actually probably make it a greater chance that you'll spread infection or other diseases because of wearing them. So we really want to really encourage individuals to perform good hand hygiene. So it's alcohol-based hand sanitizers, soap and water, those kinds of things that really are going to be your higher evidence-based protocols. So if you've heard you need to wear gloves to avoid coronavirus, not true. Definitely one of those things we would say do not do. Leave the gloves to the medical professionals in those acute settings. One-time use, take them off and throw them away, not for continued use. Some of the other things we've heard is that coronavirus spreads through surface contact. Not necessarily untrue, but again, the large majority of how coronavirus spreads is through respiratory pathways. So surfaces do need to remain clean, but it's one of those things, if you do the good hand hygiene and everything else, you'll be perfectly fine. Some people have asked if drinking alcohol will help prevent coronavirus. No, don't try to internally sanitize anything. It's really not going to work at all. It could do actually quite a bit of harm. One of the things is drinking alcohol while being exposed to pathogens can actually make your immune system less likely to be able to fight it off. So one of the things we would say is if you do have an increased chance of getting coronavirus or you're in a setting or exposed, avoid drinking alcohol altogether. Don't drink more of it. So just a handful of some of the myths. I'm interested to hear maybe a myth or two if you've heard, and we can see if we can debunk it.
So I do have one. My son goes to the University of Michigan. He's a senior there going into the medical field, and his buddies love to go get antibody tests. They give blood, and so they give results of antibodies, but he's just so convinced that that's the pathway to go. Debunk that for us today.
Yeah. Really, if you think about gold standard for testing is that nasal swab, and it's really detecting that live virus in your system. So if you're thinking about the two methods, you have a test that's getting live virus, and then you have the antibody test, which really is measuring your body's response to the virus, which is happening later down the road. This is one of those things where your body has interacted with the virus, has already caught it, and your body's now in the stages of fighting it off and developing, hopefully, future immunity to the virus. So really an antibody test is going to help you determine if you've had it, but not really if you have it. And so it's one of those things where really you want to stick with that gold standard swab test to get you a true sample of if you actually have it. Whereas the antibody test would be a good tool to see if you've had it sometime in the past.
So we've been playing Mythbusters here for the last few minutes. Another one I'd like to myth bust is, the classic covering, right? The face mask. Mm-hmm. And there's always that proper way to wear it. The Mythbuster that I want to present today is, Nathan, I'm asking you to debunk this myth. I see a lot of people wearing their mask this way. Is this a proper way to wear a mask?
Sure. Yeah, there's definitely, especially with masks, a lot of the general public has never worn a mask before, and they can be generally uncomfortable if you're not wearing them. So the general tendency is to want to move it down just over your mouth and not over your nose. But really the key areas for pathogen transmission into your system is through your nose and your mouth. So you have to really cover both openings to have a full protection. And really when we're thinking about masks use in general public, we're really talking about me protecting myself from, me protecting from you. So what I really don't want to have happen is for me to have the virus and to spread it to you. So that's why I wear the mask. for you, if I'm wearing my mask and you're wearing your mask, the chances of transmission go down significantly. Even if I'm wearing my mask and you're not wearing your mask, the transmission goes down. So we at least want to see, general mask use, which helps with that transmission. But you gotta use it appropriately, and that's with nose and mouth, not just one or the other, because you're gonna leave one significant entry point in.
Oh, that's awesome. Nathan, your energy and passion and knowledge it is up here. So I really appreciate you taking time to spend the afternoon with OVD. And we have to make sure we're social distancing and putting our masks on. So thank you very much. We really do appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate it. And no, you guys have been great too. And looking forward to future conversations.
Absolutely.